tutorial with me, Dan McKim. I'm going to teach you how to produce music. So all you need for this course is a copy of Ableton Live. If you haven't got one sorted out, then you can get it here. Ableton Lite, you can start off for a pretty reasonable price considering it's professional level software. You can download that and get started straight away, or if you're not quite convinced that producing is really for you and you're just trying it out for a little while, you can try Ableton Live 10 for free for 30 days, which is kind of nice. So that's what you'll need to get started. I'll post a link here. If you're having trouble installing it, then go through that YouTube video. But without further ado, let's get started. We've got lots and lots to cover. There's no prior knowledge needed at all for this tutorial, so if you don't know anything about making music on a computer, not even making a beat, no problem. We're going to go through all these, and by the time we get to the end, you're going to be laughing. Okay, so the first one is finding good samples. So Ableton does come with a lot of samples, but if you're going to be wanting to get into a specific genre, then you're going to want to go and get samples specific to that genre. Otherwise, your music won't really sound like the genre that you're wanting to try and sound like. It's kind of like if you're wanting to write, Baroque music, and then you're writing for electric guitar. It's just not going to work. You need an orchestra, you know. So it's the same kind of thing. So where do you get good samples? Well, let's have a look. I've got 3 tabs open here. This first one is probably your cheapest option for getting professional grade samples. MyLoops.net they're really solid samples. You want to go to products and then samples and have a look at all these. Find the genre that you like and grab one. Don't go overboard, because to be honest, people kind of get paralysis by getting so many samples, and then the answer that their music isn't good enough is that they need more sample packs and more sample packs. Just get 1 or maybe 2, and then the skill is in using the right samples and arranging effectively and mixing effectively, which we're going to learn later, not about how many sample packs you have. The next one that I would suggest is freshly squeezed samples. These guys are awesome. The samples are made by professional DJ producers, and they're fantastic. These are just some of the ones that I've bought, but let's have a look at all their products. They're most styles of EDM. They have a particularly good range of trance, as well as house styles. So once again, you're going to be looking for samples, because there are a few other synth presets to make instruments here that they sell, which are also fantastic, but we'll get into those later. So if you're wanting to buy one of these, make sure you're buying samples. The next one's probably the most common one, which is from ReFX, which they have their Vengeance sample set, which is pretty cheap. So you can buy individual ones, which these are pretty expensive. But you know, sometimes you get what you pay for. But personally, I think these two are just as good, and they're a fraction of the price. But these are really common, so you can go ahead and grab yourself one of these in the genre that you're wanting to write. If you're not wanting to spend any money at all, you can find some free samples just to get started. And so just type into Google like free EDM samples. Make sure you're going to a legitimate website, and often you'll get like you sign up with your email, and then they'll send you a whole bunch of free samples to download, or you can get these ones here. If you look around, you can get samples for free. Although note how I say finding good samples. Often what you get is what you pay for. With samples, there's some pretty average ones around, and when you're starting off, it's maybe you can't quite recognize what a good, clean, nice sample is. So maybe when you're starting off, just until you get used to what they're supposed to sound like, try and get yourself a good set, so you don't get frustrated with the music you write later on, and if you're not happy with the sound. So once you download these samples, if you do buy them, click on the download link wherever it gives you them. That'll download here, and then it'll go into your downloads, and then we want to find this in Ableton. So we're going to open up Ableton, and then over here on Add Folder, we're going to go and find what we just downloaded. So we've got Abletunes. Now it looks like it's a zip file. See that little zip down there? That means that you have to unzip it. They've basically put it into this. Oh, sorry, it's night time and my flux is turning on. So I don't stay awake all night. Let's go for an hour. Where were we? So we need to unzip this pack. So what we're going to do is we're going to use 7-zip by right-clicking on the zip file, which isn't really readable at the moment. We need to unzip it and make it readable. So we're going to use 7-zip. Now there's loads of programs that you can use. 7-zip, if you don't have it, is just Google search for it. It's 7-zip, and it's this one here. Click on that, and then you're going to be most likely going to be 64-bit. Download that, get that happening. And so that way you can unzip the files that you've downloaded, extract them, and so then see it's basically just copied it, except now it doesn't have the little zip. So you can go ahead and delete the one that you the original zip copy, otherwise it does get a bit confusing. So we're going to open this up with Ableton. So we're going to go Add Folder down here, and then we're going to look for downloads, and there it is. See how it doesn't have a zip sign? I'm going to open that up, and we've got another folder added here that says Abletunes EDM Kicks. So let's see what they've got. We got a good selection of kicks actually. It gives you the key of which the kick is in, which is very, very useful. You don't want to be using a kick that is in a different key to the song that you're in. When I say key, I mean the 7 notes of the scale, whether it be a major scale or a minor scale. The first note of that scale is going to be what your key is. So if it's either A major or A minor, you could be using this kick here. If the first note of your scale is A. Let's go. You can use the arrow keys to go down as well. Let's go with this one. Yeah, let's go with that one. So I'm going to press tab. Whoa, and there we go. We're in arrangement view now. If you press tab again and you go back to this view here, if you don't have a tab key, I don't know why you wouldn't, but you can press this here. But yeah, we're going to stick to arrangement view, and we're going to drag one of these kicks into an audio file. So you see how there's number 3 and number 4 audio files. We're going to drag it right into the very start of our song. If you just grab here, see how there's that little circle above my virtual fist? I'm going to click and then pull down on the screen, and that's going to zoom in a little bit so we're not so far out. These numbers here are the bars, so if I press spacebar, you'll kind of see which way the music's going. So the music's playing that way, and here we've got first bar, second bar, third bar, fourth bar, and then these little ones in here are the beats. So we're going to put a kick on every single beat. Now see how this kick goes for a little longer than one beat? I'm just going to move back up so we can see the beats clearly. There we go. What you want to do is just drag that back with your mouse so it's only taking up one beat. Now what you can do is just go consolidate, and that means that that little tail bit has been deleted, and this is now how the kick is. So you can either painstakingly go through and go copy and then paste, which would take forever because generally kicks are on, you know, a lot, they're going a lot of the time. What you can do, which is better, is double click on your sample, and then you can go loop and highlight loop, and then just get minimize that down there. And then what you can do now is when you drag the sample, you've got a kick on every beat, and that kick will happen every single beat. So if we press spacebar now, we get this. Groovy, sick tune. I've just noticed that our tempo is at 120 beats per second. EDM, the style that we're going to write, although all the principles of mixing and things that we're going to learn work in all of the styles that you would want to write. So don't be offset if you're not wanting to go and write EDM. It'll be applicable to whatever style you want. We're going to change this up to 128 because generally EDM is 128. You can do this cool like tap 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you can kind of get, say if you've got a song that you're hearing on the radio and you want to copy it, then you can tap there, but for now we're just going to keep it at 128. So that's our kick. It gets really confusing if you don't label these tracks. So we've put this kick in audio 4. I'm going to press, you can either go right click and rename, or it's really handy to get used to some of the shortcut keys. So if you can it'll speed up your workflow a lot. Hold Control and press R, and then we can change the name. So I'm going to put kick there.